Buen dia, investigadores! Mi nombre es Maximo Enerio, and in this video, I will be explaining about writing scope and delimitation. But before we proceed to our discussion, I need to differentiate first between limitation and delimitation. According to IMS blog of St. Cloud State University, delimitations aims to narrow the scope of the study. These are choices made and boundaries set by the researcher which should be mentioned. Now, let us proceed to limitations. Limitations aim to identify the potential weaknesses of the study. These are influence, shortcomings, or conditions that the researcher cannot control. So, ang delimitation, sa start pa lang ato na siyang giset. On the other hand, kaning limitation is beyond our control. These are the things nga wala nato gi-expect but it happens. Nahitabo siya sa atong research study. The limitation of the study is placed in Chapter 1 or sometimes in the methodology section. Ang limitation pod is written and mentioned into the final section of the study, usually sa results and discussion. Now, let us delve into our main discussion, the scope of the study. So the scope of the study is the extent to which the research will be explored, and it explains the parameters within which the study will be operating. So for you guys to be able to write the scope of the study, I will provide you some prompts. Mao ni mga some phrases nga pwede ninyong pang-start sa first paragraph sa inyong scope of the study. First one is, the study will focus on, the scope of this study will be, this study will cover, and lastly, the study will consist of. And now let's go with the limitation of the study. The limitation of this study is the boundaries of the study. It aims to narrow the scope of the study. And the following phrases are the prompts in the scope of the limitation in writing the first paragraph. So, ang pinakauna is, the study will be limited to, this study is confined to, and the study will not cover the. And now the question is, unsa atong ibutang aning scope and delimitation? So, diri nata atong pinaka-importanting part sa scope and delimitation, ang unod ani nga part, the body of this part. First is general purpose of the study. Unsa jud ang purpose ani nga study nganong gikandak man nimo? Dayon ang important details of the study. Ug kani ang pinaka-importante ang population, target respondents. Kung pila kabuk ang imong mga respondents sa imong sample size. And the mention pod about geographical location setting. Og asa ba jud nimo ikandak ang imong research study og taga-asa ang imong mga respondents, so mention about that setting. Og importante pod nga i-mention nimo ang duration research timeline. Unsa nga time ang iyang sakop sa imong research study or limit. So there are some researchers nga ilang gi-include sa ilang scope and delimitation ang instrument nga ilang gigamit nila or gamiton pa lang nila. Kaning sampling method, research design, tapos ang financial limitation sa ilang study kay ilang gina-include. However, katong akong gipang mention ganina which are mga general purpose, important details of the study, population, and etc. Okay na to sila gyud tong dapat ibutang sa scope and delimitation. So here is my sample research namo entitled Effects of Shifting Time on the Emotional Status of Grade 12 UMS A and B Students of Polanco National High School. So scope and delimitation. The study will cover the determination of the effects of shifting time on emotional status of selected students from senior high. The primary subjects of this research study will consist of grade 12 UMS A and B students enrolled in academic year 2025-2026. The respondents will be limited to 15 grade 12 students from UMS A and B strand of academic senior high school of Polanco National High School. In addition, the participants will be purposely selected by referring to their experiences and perceptions about their shifting time. In pre-tests, the participants will be given survey questionnaire to come up scientific data and to analyze their perceptions through their answers. On the other hand, the research study will be operating only at Polanco National High School, senior high school specifically, the grade 12 UMS A and B students. So that would be all, PR researchers. Muchas gracias por ver. I hope you learned a lot in this video. Don't forget to love research, because research is a conversation with the unknown, where you find not only what is, but also what could be.